Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 3. Hope you're looking forward to today's episode where hopefully there's going to be quite a bit of good news in terms of contracts, in terms of regens, and in terms of results. At least I hope there's a turnaround in results because off camera again we've been very poor. I think first of all we'll go through what's happened since you guys were last here for that 2-1 loss to Real Valladolid before we beat Fuenlabrada 2-1 in the league as well. As you can see, March was abysmal. Not getting a win in March. A 1-1 draw with Real Oviedo was a decent result, but a 1-0 loss to Deportivo, a 2-0 loss to Mallorca were both very poor. We then drew another blank against Cadiz, another blank in a 2-0 loss against Leganes, but did manage to start scoring again against Eibar. These 4 games, I was getting particularly concerned. Again though, we're not conceding more than 2 goals in a game, so defensively we still are holding relatively strong. Like, I'm still kind of pleased with the defence. Yes, we haven't won, and it is terrible form, but we are not conceding more than 2 goals a game, and I think that is decent, I think. What it means though for the league table is that we are dropping down slowly. We're 15th in the table now, still 10 points clear of Cordoba in the relegation zone, but if we keep staying in the form that we're in, we are going to get dragged closer and closer and closer to that bottom 4 by the end of the season. Today we are playing against the Real Madrid B team, who are down in 20th at the moment. We need to get a win against them to try and stay away from that relegation. I mean, realistically, them, Las Palmas and Nastic are already relegated. They're on 23, 19, 13 points respectively. It's only Cordoba who can kind of drag themselves out of that relegation zone, and potentially we could be dragged into it. There's 9 games to go this season, 27 points available, and that is enough points for Cordoba to catch us up and us to drop all the way down. We also play Malaga today. They're currently 3rd in the table. Beating us might put them in the automatic places, so they are looking to get the result. Malaga, of course, my family. I've got a family who live in Malaga, basically, so pretty close to my heart. In fact, I won't get it out because it's at the bottom of one of the boxes on top of my wardrobe, but I have got a Malaga scarf, which I'm sure you've seen before in various videos. Right, next, let's talk about contracts. First of all, I've got a new contract, as we can see down here. Right, I've got a new contract, which is absolutely fantastic, on for another 3 years, which is brilliant. I've also offered a few contracts to other players, and I think I found a bug where you can give them whatever minimum fee release clause he wants, and they won't argue it. Case in point is Timo Wolff. We gave him a new contract, and he's got a minimum fee release clause of £120 million. Now, I've only tested out the minimum fee release clause. I've not tested out anything else, so we'll do it together quickly right now. So I think first of all, I'll just save the game because I'll quit out afterwards because I don't want to actually offer this contract to that player because I don't really want to break the game. I've done it on Timo Wolff, but I was only testing out then to see if it actually worked. I hadn't saved the game beforehand, so I didn't really want to quit and then play loads of games again, basically. So I'll save the game there. Right, Mateo Tomic, let's just offer him a new contract, and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll give him whatever he wants because we're going to reload after this because I don't actually want to give him the contract. This is just demonstration purposes. Make sure you make at least 1 change to the contract. So let's bump his wage up to 2. No, I want to change wages actually. I want to see how that changes. Let's bump the loyalty fee up to 6k. Suggest that. Right. Before you press finalise deal now, I can go to his minimum fee release clause. I can select £150 million. Suggest. He's agreed to it straight away. Like there's no... And I've only tried this on minimum fee release clauses. Now, if I do this on wages down to 1.4, suggest, okay, he gets angry on the wages side of things, which is understandable. If I bump that up to £152 million, suggest he's happy, can I reduce things like loyalty bonus to 0? No. Okay, so it only seems to be minimum fee release clause that seems to be affected. But I can, £500 million, suggest he's agreed. Like, he's happy with that. So I'll just reload the game quickly because I don't actually want to give him that contract. But I will report that on the SI forums because whilst it is, you know, in the game at the moment, it does seem a little bit unfair. We've done it with Timo Wolff because I was testing out at the time and I feel a bit bad about it. It's not really in the spirit of the game, so I won't be using that, but I just wanted to sort of make you aware because I know some of you might like to enjoy that in your game, and I imagine we're patched out at some point, so if you want to enjoy it while you can, it is there to be exploited. But now I know it's there, I'm so tempted to exploit it because once you know it's there, you just, you kind of want to use it. And I'm very tempted to use it on the latest youth intake because there's been some really good players coming through. We were told that it could be a golden generation, and I think they might have been right. It came through when we were off camera, so here's a screenshot on screen right now. And as you can see, Ben Draper, the striker, 2.5 stars of current ability and 5-star potential. He looks like a star striker. We've got Danny Burton there, a centre-back with 4.5 stars of potential. We've got 2 players, both a centre-back and striker actually, with 4-star potential as well. And then a few players in there with 3.5 stars. Just to show you the best player, Ben Draper, who came through with his 2.5 stars of current ability and 5-star potential. He does look pretty decent, I must say. And if we compare him with, in fact, if we click on Raul Jr. instead, compare with Ben Draper, in some areas, Ben Draper at 16 years old already looks a bit better than Raul Jr., our star striker. So I'm pretty pleased with that. The youth intake has done absolute bits for us this season. And of course, if you want to claim any of these players, they'll be posted up on the Patreon right now. So go ahead, go and claim someone, and hopefully you get Ben Draper because he is class. Of course, if you want to join the Patreon, link down in the description down below to get your name in the game as a regen. Right, enough messing around. Let's get into this game against Real Madrid. This is the lineup, obviously that usual 5 at the back system with Dikene in goal, Gotti, Shittigel, Cesar, Cahinde and Dia Garcia in the back. We've got Scott Marshall and Cipollina through the middle with Timo Wolf, Zubalaga and Raul Jr. up front. So kickoff is upon us here today. Obviously quite a big game for us. We need to get the win here today because Real Madrid B are below us in the table by quite some distance in terms of points. This is a game that we really should be winning, and if we want to stay in this division for next season, we really need to be winning this fixture. But Real Madrid are a team looking to come forward early on right now as Cahinde makes a good challenge but not quite good enough as Real Madrid still look to come forward, still blocking their attempts to get into the area. But this team is obviously a decent team with some very good technical ability in it because they are a Real Madrid youth team, and that was a great cross but an even better save from Dikene there. Wonderful stuff from him. Dikene, I think, has probably been my player of the season. I know that obviously Raul Jr.'s got 20 goals this season. He's joint top scorer in the league, which is absolutely incredible, but that's what he does. He just scores goals whatever division we're in. You know, maybe his attributes aren't so good. The coaches don't rate him at all, but he gets his 21st goal of the season just there. He just knows where the back of the net is every single season, whatever league we're in, and he is now top goal scorer unless the guy from Malaga scored a few goals this season, but Raul Jr., we love you. He is going to stay as our first choice striker as long as he keeps scoring goals. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Try saying that out loud. But obviously the new guy coming through, on paper, is better than him. But if you can't score goals, then Raul Jr. will stay as our striker just because he is proven at every level we've played that. Winning this game, by the way, does put us closer towards that magic 50 points. I know it's 50 points in the Premier League, or not in Premier League, it's 50 points you need sort of in League 1, League 2 level. But we're getting to that sort of magic point area where we should be avoiding relegation. In fact, we are over that point per game ratio, aren't we? We have played 42 games this season. If we win this, we're on 45 points, and that should be enough, that ratio of 1 point per game, to avoid relegation. But of course, you never know until we get to the final day of the season and what you have to do there, as Timo Wolf nearly scores a great goal. I would love it, actually, if a team came in and just bid £120 million for Timo Wolf now, because that would solve our money issues and then some, wouldn't it? I'd love it if a club did that, but unfortunately, no bids are ever going to come in for that sort of money for Timo Wolf, I don't think. Not that I can see anyway. Not heard anything about a club takeover either. I know last episode we spoke briefly about it because some new articles came through which suggested that there could be something in the pipeline. However, nothing's happened since then. The club isn't for sale, so we're still not any closer to getting new owners. I'd love for us to get like a Saudi prince to just come in and just give us all his oil money. That would obviously be ideal, but we are a long way off that. Maybe if we get promoted to the Liga at some point, that might be an option for us. I say an option for us. We have no control over it. The game sort of controls that. We can't do anything about it. But it would be quite nice to actually get some new owners, as Real Madrid B have a man sent off, which you love to see. At the same time, though, we've picked up an injury to Gotti. Not so good. We don't have Ethan Brito on the bench because he was also injured. So we're going to have to play someone at left back who doesn't like to play at left back. It could be Dio Garcia, actually. Dio Garcia can play left back a little bit. So we'll move him across. We will bring Josh Thompson on at right back, but Cahinde a little bit injured as well, so Anthony will come on for him. So 2 changes at the back. Hopefully, though, with 30 minutes to go, and obviously Real Madrid a man down, that shouldn't change things too much for us. But if you look at the match stats I've just looked at, we are miles behind. Real Madrid deserve to be winning this game, and yet they are not winning this game. And with 15 minutes or so to go, we might have just done enough to pick up the 3 points And considering that Cordoba are not winning, we'll go 13 points clear of Cordoba. This could be the game that gives us safety this season and make sure we avoid the drop. One final chance for us as Shitty Gel puts it in the middle, cleared only as far as Shitty Gel, who should have finished that into the open net, but unfortunately puts it well over the bar. Instead, we are going to walk through this game and win 1-0. Very nice to get 3 points on the board there, and actually that's back-to-back victories for only the second time this season. A 2-1 against Eibar, a 1-0 against Real Madrid. The only other time we've done that was Real Oviedo and Deportivo, so for the second time only this season, back-to-back wins. Gotti out for 3 to 5 weeks, that is a bit frustrating with a fractured wrist. Kahinde out for 2 to 5 days with a gash jam, who are back in time for the Malaga game, and Josh Thompson is set for a pay rise because he's having played games. So that result was good. That puts breathing room between us and the relegation zone, and with 8 games to go for us now this season, that's what, 24 points. We are 13 points clear. All we need is 10 points. We just need 3 wins. Three wins and a draw, but I'll say 3 wins because I doubt the teams below us are going to win every single game. So I'll say 9 points. That's all we need. For the most part, the players who did pick up knocks look to be okay to play. Gotti can play with a broken wrist, which actually is fine. He just puts a little wristband on and he's fine. Scott Marshall picked up a little knock in training, but he looks okay to play. So actually, I don't think we'll change the lineup. We'll keep it the same, but we might bring Brito onto the bench instead, just in case we need to bring on a left back. Malaga, though, are a decent team as kickoff is upon us. They should be beating us today, although not by, well, they shouldn't score more than 2 goals because no one has at all this season. So, again, they can score 2 goals. As long as we just score, as long as we score 3 goals in a game, we win it every single time. If we'd scored 3 goals every single game this season, we would have won every single game this season. But unfortunately, football doesn't quite work as simply as that. As Timo Wolff has picked up a knock early on in this game, by looks of things. We might have to take him off for Daz Finley shortly. But Malaga looking to come down the right-hand side of their attack. And they get a great ball forward to their striker, who scores his 7th of the season. Not a great start for us. Now that I've started talking about no team scoring more than 2 goals past us this season, you can almost guarantee that Malaga will score like 5 now. Timo Wolff is fully injured now. He's got to come off. That's not so good. We will bring Daz Finley on that left-hand side for him instead. And Daz, when he does play, is really, really good. Malaga looking to come forward again. It's another great ball through to their striker who scored another goal. 2 goals in 25 minutes. Now, in terms of the statistics, we will not concede another goal this game. However, Malaga might just rip this up. This could get embarrassing. Shout, demand more. Demand more out there. You know, focus up, boys. Let's not concede another goal. Purely because we've come this far without conceding more than 2 goals in a game this season. I don't want it to start now as we approach half-time, not conceding another goal, which is good. I still can't quite decide if our defence is good or not. I mean, our league position suggests it's not. But we haven't scored many goals and we haven't conceded many goals this season. So, I mean, what we should do actually is probably look at the conceded league table, shouldn't we? See where we sit on that. But I genuinely think we do have one of the better defences in this division in terms of actually not conceding goals. The players, individual players, might not be so good. No. Oh, you hate to see it. The first game this season, we've conceded more than 2 goals. I mean, it's impressive that it's only happened once. That we've conceded more than 3 goals once. When we are a relegation-threatened team, basically. You know, we are one of the favourites for relegation. We have avoided it so far at the moment, but you never know what's going to happen in the next 7 games of the season. As Malaga look to come forward again, the floodgates, are they going to open? No, because Dekene gets a good clearance on the ball. Zubalaga coming forward, racing forward, absolutely unmarked. No one stopping him, apart from the last man. You hate to see it, and he can't even get on the end. Well, he can get on the end of the cross, but can't really do anything clever with it. How have we not scored from that? Throw in for Malaga in an attacking position. We've cleared it, and Raul Jr. can't quite get on the end of it. Is that Doumbia playing for? Is that the Doumbia playing for Malaga? Or is this a different Doumbia? As in the Doumbia that used to... It must be a different Doumbia than the one that used to play for CSK Moscow back in... Well, this is FIFA 11, FIFA 12 that I used to... Oh, 4-0, you hate to see it. Back onto Doumbia, I used to love playing as CSK Moscow because they had Doumbia, they had Musa, and they had that other guy beginning with D, like Dragon, something or other, and they were like 95 pace plus. And that was back in the days when pace was the main thing in FIFA as well, so that was always good fun. Unfortunately, he has sort of torn as a new one. It's not the real Doumbia because he's playing midfield, not a striker, so it's a different Doumbia, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for us, but what's the real Doumbia? He destroys with his pace. But can we grab a consolation goal out of this, as we have been absolutely decimated today as Raul Jr. Can't score. Kahinde on the ball then, plays it into Shitijel. Come on, let's at least get a consolation goal. You know, at least get something on the score sheet so it doesn't look quite so embarrassing today, as Raul Zabalaga is sublime at dribbling. Can he find Raul Jr. in the middle? He can, and Raul Jr. gets his 22nd goal of the season. Unfortunately, only a consolation goal, so a little bit frustrating there, and obviously very upsetting to concede 4 goals today, the first time we have conceded more than 2 in a game this season. I've said it like 12 times now, so you're probably tired of me saying it, but I just think that's very impressive personally. Hasn't changed the table for us too much, as Cordoba lose to Deportivo. So it's looking even better for us game by game, even if we lose our games, that we are not going to get relegated. So there we go, the first time. 4 goals conceded there. No other point of this season have we conceded more than that, apart from in a friendly where we lost 6-1 to Betis. But we can ignore that, because that's a friendly, doesn't count. Right, the league table stages, goals against. We are mid-table on goals against. Maybe not quite as good as I thought we were, but at least we're not Nastic, you've conceded 82 goals this season. In terms of goals scored, we are again pretty mid-table, so we're just average. We're average this season. Next episode then is going to be quite a big one. If we do lose every game from here on out, Cordoba next episode is going to be a really big game. We've also got Alcorcon as well, who are 18th in the table, so this could be a real relegation battle coming into next episode. In the meantime, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have done, drop a like on the video for me, and of course subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.